I'm Steve from F1MOTO. Today we're talking about squish setting on two-strokes. Squish setting is basically the distance between the piston and the cylinder head at the periphery of the piston. As you can see here, we've got a Yamaha YZ125 engine almost built. The cylinder head's off it, the ignition cover's off it, and this is in preparation for testing the squish clearance. The way we approach this, we park the piston just before TDC, get some common or garden or grease, 4 dabs of grease, because we put in 4 pieces of solder onto the grease. It'll become evident later why we're doing this. So that is the 4 dabs of grease. We take our common electrical solder, about 1.5 mm thick. About 20, cut those about 15, 20 mm long. It's not an exact science on that. Again, put them to the periphery of the piston. Four pieces of solder, roughly equally spaced. So next we bolt on our cylinder head. The example we have here is a VHM cylinder head, machined from billet aluminium. As you can see, an interchangeable combustion chamber insert. So that gives us many options on squish setting. So we place the insert into the cylinder head, onto the engine. Redo that. The sealing washer's on. Followed by the retaining nuts. So then we'll get our T-bar, run the nuts down. Give them a good nip down. You don't have to torque the nuts at this stage, it's just good firm tightness on the nuts to make sure the cylinder head's firmly in place. So next we get a T-bar on the ignition rotor nut, and we simply come up to TDC and rock it backwards and forwards over TDC till you can feel there's not much resistance. So then that means we've compressed the solder within the squish gap. So then we simply remove the cylinder head. Like so. And then we simply one by one remove the pieces of solder. You'll see where the piston has compressed the solder. Then we take our micrometer and then we measure what thickness that solder is. We do that to all 4 pieces. Then we would take an average of those 4 measurements, and that will be the actual squish clearance. So then if we need to adjust the squish clearance, we can go about this by one of 2 ways, really. Common way is to change the thickness of the base gasket, or to change the cylinder head insert. Or if you've got a standard cylinder head, you can also machine the cylinder head as well, but that's a bit more involved. That's really the beauty of the VHM cylinder head, is the tunability. So we can do custom inserts, we can do it for pump fuel, race fuel, whatever your requirements. We should have a cylinder head for your 2-stroke race machine, and that really is all there is to testing squish clearance.